Good afternoon. hmm I hope you and yours are safe. Each time I make one of these, it seems that the situation has gotten more dire, more consequential. And I hope you're practicing social distancing. In my case, it's really not a stretch because it's my natural tendency I've mentioned in the intro to these last few videos, because one would be hard pressed to ignore what's happening everywhere. And one of the narratives that I can remember really clearly, one of the narratives that I told myself quite often when I was on my journey of self-discovery, this was looking for a purpose in life, right? And this it was a precursor to more fundamental, important, when all said and done, processes in my journey. But making sense of everything, attempting to make sense, as if somehow it was even possible that it even made sense, before you got to the state of recognizing the nonsense of asking the question, does it make sense? Of course it doesn't, because what you're looking for, a sense of you're looking for a sense of self in the egoic structure, the pure illusory. I want to say temporary, but for some of us it sticks around quite long. Certainly not permanent, because eventually we'll shed our ego, just as the snake sheds its skin so it can go into the next stage of growth. I like that metaphor. Snakes. Because the snakes are starting to get active here as it's warming up. And coming from Hawaii to a place, I live in essentially a farming community. It's kind of a mix, industrial, residential, industrial, and farming. But snakes are part of life here. And I still have to admit to the initial kind of startle and distance and danger. But anyway, we're getting back to what I was addressing earlier. An early narrative that I had for myself for a purpose is that I was always preparing for something. Always preparing for some kind of natural disaster, some kind of circumstances where I could be really helpful. And you heard the I. It was the ego. It said, okay, we can be useful. Don't discard us. It's a fear. The ego structure has a fear that we're going to wise up to it and eventually recognize and progress past having a purpose, the ego's purpose. And indeed has a purpose, or it wouldn't be such a part of us, would it? But anyway, this how could I serve? Just listen to the old Dylan song, you gotta serve somebody. Indeed. And I thought that I could be service to humanity. But I always envisioned a grand scale. I could It's almost like the guise of a savior, as funny as it sounds. Maybe not so grandiose, but still overinflated sense of what and how I could help. So here we are, this COVID-19. I really feel that this is what was looming on the horizon for me my whole life, just beyond what I could see. But I could feel the intensity, I could feel. And, irony is never lost on me. And the irony is that this occasion that I thought I was going to rise to is occurring at when I already have maybe two strikes against me. First would be age. And second, more importantly, is the realization of how little, how tiny any impact that we can have on anything truly is. The irony there. I was going to be a helper. I was training my whole life. And I had this sense that I was training my whole life to be in the role of being strong for people who weren't or couldn't be, or in fact didn't even want to be strong, to guide, to assist, to help, to make a splash, to make an impact. And it all seems so ludicrous when I consider it. I mean, well-intended, like most of us, but way, way out of whack, way, way overinflated sense that of being able to make a difference. Now my scale has come down to realistic in the true sense of reality, the real, the best, the biggest, the most powerful, the most influential impact we can have on others is how we conduct ourselves. Now, I mentioned earlier that I'm social distancing, and it's really not. I didn't really have to make a sacrifice. In fact, I quite enjoy. I'm here in my room. I've got 2 other floors to venture upon and to entertain myself. I've got 2 cats to keep me focused on someone's need other than my own. Colleen, my wife, is up in Taipei, about a 2-hour train ride away, watching out for her parents and watching out for her responsibilities that she has in Taipei, and leave me to my own resources. And I'm certainly not taking advantage of her absence. I miss her, but it's given me a chance to, I was independent for 30 years, so as an adult, 30 years, 33 years to be exact, 33 years from the finish of one marriage to the beginning of a next. So I had a lot of downtime, a lot of alone time. But as I mentioned, reality the realness. And this realness has to embrace for me. Realness, when I started getting real, was when I embraced ordinariness. What had been leading up to this idea that I'm preparing for something, which is a good thing to be prepared. I wish the United States and a lot of the other parts of the world would be prepared. It's a good thing to be prepared. It's just kind of comical to consider the consequences, potential consequences of your individual preparedness. What motivated you to prepare? Self-survival? Never been a big on my list. The self can take care of itself quite well. But I did have a overinflated sense of the differences, that the potential differences that my preparedness could make. Not to belittle the preparedness, I'm glad I was prepared. But the funny thing is, what I was preparing for when it finally comes, I see how small any potential impact for the others that I could have, other than coming back again to my behavior. I do what I can, when the opportunity presents itself. But I'm certainly wiser to know better than to go out and try to manufacture, try to make, try to plan any kind of helpfulness. The universe will bring to me, if I've learned one lesson thoroughly, is that the universe brings to me what I need at the specific time. It makes it seem like I had a plan. In fact, it's so ironic of me having no plan, and a no plan turns out to be a plan. But the university provides the opportunities. So again, I'm not concerned about helping. I just help when the opportunity presents itself. And it'll always be on the level that's within my realm of doability. And I'm leading up to today. Took another Bob Dylan song, this second quote of Bob Dylan in one go round. And it's simple twist of fate. Here I sit, speaking to you. Look at Kitty's there, Kitty. Because of this simple twist of fate. I love this is little. I love her. She's a little rascal, always a little ginger, always up to no good. But she's so cute. Anyway, she's helping me today. She'll come back and she's going to unplug my microphone or try to step on the keyboard or, she'll think of, she's going to chew the bag. She's going to knock the bag that I keep my lavalier mic in. Well, that's a good girl. Didn't do that. But she's looking for attention and she's wondering why I'm focusing my energy with you. But the funny good thing about her, she'll lose interest and she'll be gone before we even know it. So these twists of fate, Simple. Yeah, I never liked to make decisions too much. I'm now what you call a decisive person. I don't make up my mind and then pursue. Making up my mind is a long drawn out process, and I have to analyze. I have to pass the litmus test of doubt. So everything that I entertain, I doubt. I doubt it is my natural. First words that come out of my mouth or pop into my mind when I hear about anything. I doubt it. And then I wait to be, either my doubt is validated or it's put to rest. Either through my active process or the occurrence of events that make it so or make it not so. Things that I'm able to witness, to watch. But certainly these simple twists of fate, being hesitant to make a decision taught me that not making a decision is in itself a decision, which I laughed about and maybe made me a little less resistant to making decisions. But where I did differentiate is where the decision-making process took place. A twist of fate. Now it's up to me what to do with it. That's my realm of influence. The other occurrence is beyond my means, outside of my realm of effectiveness, as having any effect in the process of this simple twist of fate. What to do with it? And it's obvious that my process became notice and not accept. Notice without judgment, without putting a plus or a minus or a good or a bad. Notice. And then surrender to the forces that are beyond my purview. So watch or notice or witness, then surrender up to the universe. So this is what I'm doing with the COVID-19 right now. I'm exercising caution, social distancing. I like that, social distancing. Hooray! Something finally supports my position. Very seldom that happens, and so I have to applaud social distancing. As I was prepared. I've always been prepared to to create social distance. And only now has it been validated, and probably temporary validation, right? Because we'll forget as soon as this crisis passes, and it will, we'll forget and go about our business. There's Lulu back there. She's up on the desk. Or maybe not. Maybe this is the big event that will change us, that will have a lasting impact. It's yet to be determined. We'll see. Depending on the severity, unfortunately, I guess. So even a simple twist of fate, and well, let's say you contact the COVID-19 or you don't contact it. You can consider that a simple twist of fate. But what you can control is, like always, your reaction, your acceptance, your surrender. And surrender is, again, I have to talk about the nature of surrender, because surrender is not like giving up. Surrender is a creative, proactive, powerful force of nature. When I was in Thailand many years ago, one of my favorite tour guides, big, heavy-set guy with a perpetual smile. And I asked him the question that was on my mind. In the Thai people, 20% is ethnically Chinese, but they control roughly 80% of the wealth in the country. And my friend was a native Thai. And I asked him, how do you feel about this? And he just laughed so hard. He says, the big fish eats the little fish. It's the order of things. And he laughed because it was beyond his job description to condemn. He didn't just passively accept, he actively accepted the fate, the twist of fate, that he was a Thai instead of a Chinese, that he was a have-not instead of a have. Twist of fate. So fate keeps twisting. We'll always be presented with new opportunities for either to choose growth or an acceptance or denial and stagnation. And it's okay. If you choose to stagnate, go ahead and stagnate. As everything else, stagnation is not a permanent state. Something will change. Either you will change in your acceptance, or the circumstances will change. The way that your message is made available, the way that your message is couched. We're all given messages. We never know who's the messenger. I don't dismiss anything. Some of my best messages have come out of a commercial, or reading a book in just a completely different. Listening to music is the biggest thing. I'm just really involved in listening. I'm doing quite a bit of writing, and I'm doing, what else am I doing? Writing, listening to music, and as always, meditating, ruminating, considering, evaluating, doubting, ongoing states of awareness for my personal awareness. I think my sense, my doubting, my inclination to doubt everything I hear is a pretty valuable gift, pretty valuable tool in my limited available tools in my tool bag that I keep over there. Doubt, it looms large. Doubt keeps me from getting too involved with all the chatter and the multiplied monkey minds that surround us all. I mean, ours is bad enough, but when you add it to the cacophony of everyone else, can become overwhelming noise, overwhelming distraction. So what can I learn out of this COVID-19? I like to take away something from every experience. And it's really too early into this onslaught to start thinking about what I'll take away from this. When something could have a lasting impact, and lasting impact couldn't be more of a lasting impact than losing this physical body and this incarnation. It won't last long, but it certainly is an abrupt departure for most of us. And there's a period of lost time, I suspect, in between most of us floundering, drowning, and then finding that, wow, we scratched our way back up to the surface and there's air to breathe. And life goes on. So too does death. They're bound together in that non-duality, the beauty of non-duality. So it doesn't make much sense to struggle too much, but do what you can to be prepared. Be smart. Do what's in your purview. Exercise caution. Keep your heart full of love. Touch the blue Buddha within you, the healing Buddha or the healing Jesus or whatever it is that is the label that you choose to put on. It's the same force, the same energy. We just choose different names. But be a calming presence. Be secure in your own mortality, which really means that your mortality is, of course, temporary, but your immortality is lasting forever. And when I take my takeaway from this whole preparedness for this big event that I somehow was going to, my narrative was that I was going to really ultimately make a difference. Well, I still feel like I can make a difference. Just the scale. The scale got reduced. I was seeing everything in a big scale. And it's the little scale that we live with moment to moment. So what can we do? We can smile. We can keep ourselves safe. We can keep our loved ones as safe as we can. We can continue our work. And when I'm talking about work, it's not about earning a living or earning a buck. Our work is this masterpiece I'm talking about. We're painting this masterpiece. We're creating this being. This is our life's work. And again, everything that you've ever done, everything that you've ever thought, everything that you have ever felt is present. And your face is kind of the focal point of your work, of your masterpiece. The face shows it all. So I said everything from the past, everything from the present and everything in the future. If you but just look in my eyes, look in your own eyes in the mirror, and you can sense and feel the truth of this. The artificially created concept of time, linear time. There's no such thing. The measurements we owe are. It's like an ant looking at the sun and telling the sun what to do. We're no more or no less than that ant telling the sun to shine, telling the sun to set, telling the rain to stop. We're equal in the scale of things. Right? In the scale, the cosmic scale, what's the difference between a human and an ant? It's not even measurable. The difference is so minute. So what I'm telling you now is humility, the value of humility. I had some grandiose narrative of making a difference on a big scale. And now it's a source of amusement. But I rest assured, I'm secure in the knowledge that I can make a difference. It's just on a much lesser scale than I imagined in the past. So carry your life, carry your love, carry your lights, share it in your smile, let it come out of your eyes. And that is a contribution. These are calming. They're calming gifts. As you're on your path, you learn the futility of fearfulness and you let the fears go. You literally become fearless. And this doesn't, if it changes in the light of this COVID-19, if you're all of a sudden not so fearless, and the difference between reckless and fearless, okay? If you're not fearless, if you're afraid, then you've got more work to do with your fears. And that's okay. It's okay to be afraid. It's a motivating factor, isn't it? It can be. But it's times like these, and maybe this is the contribution I thought I could make. It's times like these that if you can live your true nature, if you can live who you really are, it makes a difference.